You know, I didn't think that I was going to start this video by talking about this, but I was always a feminist, really, for the most part. There were a few years when I was young, actually I was in my early 20s, after everything that I had been through, and just having, you know, my ability to do things just questioned and judged and beaten down, that I said it a few times, like, I'm not a feminist, because I couldn't be one. I couldn't be one. It was like life-threatening to try to be one. And this was even with like female therapists and female psychiatrists. I mean, almost everyone was female most of the time, and then sort of a little bit later, I had male psychiatrists and like female. I always had female therapists, really, but it was just like, no, I was forced kind of not to be one, because I literally could not say anything that was contradictory to what some mental health professional had to say about me, and so I just couldn't say anything anymore. I lived in misery, really did, the entire time. Anyway, yeah, but there was never a time in my life until now where I had started to actually just hate the sound of male voices. Just can't even be around them anymore. Like I just stopped trained, and there were a couple of guys walking the sidewalk, a few yards behind me, just talking about the weekend that they had. But which I realized, you know, after I first heard their voice, but the one of them was talking to the other one, and I wasn't even hearing what he was saying. They weren't talking about me, they weren't following me, but I just had to get away from them. I couldn't even stand it. I just couldn't even stand the sound of a man's voice. That's never happened to me before. I've never felt that way. Never in my life. Not as angry as I ever was with any guy, from my own father to anyone, an employer, you know, boyfriends, friends, nothing, never in my life before what the conglomerate has done to me and to everyone have I ever hated the sound of a man's voice. Just on impact, hated the sound of it. Right? I never before. So anyway, what I was thinking about, I actually thought about this a few times. And now it's kind of funny because the Republicans are in control of Congress. All right. Well, you know, I mean, Republicans, not the Democrats are never bigoted, because they often are, but Republicans tend to try to promote themselves as being people who are interested in what they consider to be good American family values. All right, which does not include people being gay, right? Does not include people being gay. But if you want to think about, I will tell you, I support gay rights. So I'm talking about this because it seems to me to be, you know, funny in a sad way. I mean, what do people think is going to be the natural response to the conglomerate's agenda of trying to make women, you know, believe, and everybody else believe, that women are inferior? What do you think? Don't you think that's going to cause men to get into more relationships with other men because they're being told that women are inferior? They're not even really human beings, and that the only people who are real human beings are other men. So if you want to follow through on that logic, you know, you have, which of course is totally nonsensical, but there it is. If that's the set of circumstances that you're starting with, the idea that women are just totally inferior to men and disgusting and smelly and all this other stuff, then no self-respecting person could actually get into a serious romantic relationship with a woman, right? No self-respecting man could get into a serious relationship with a woman, right? And then of course so you will have men who are you know, just getting into relationships with other men just because they are being drilled with this idea that women are inferior to them, right? There you go. There's that. Of course, there's also, I'm sure, just a huge increase in domestic violence, relationships breaking up when they don't need to, all of that sort of stuff too, and just sort of the general disrespect that women are being told to tolerate, and men are being told to perpetuate, and women are being told to perpetuate against other women. So disruptions of relationships, disruptions of all sorts of relationships, friendships, marriages, everything, you know, relationships within families, all of it, you know, all going wrong. And then, of course, I think you would also have probably a higher incidence of women deciding to have relationships with other women because they can't stand being around men anymore. Women can no longer trust men not to degrade them, not to casually degrade them just kind of all the time, not to videotape them having sex. You know, so Republicans, and of course I'm not speaking for all Republicans, right? And I'm not a Republican, but there you are. If you really think that what you want to do is promote, you know, good American family values, the conglomerate's agenda is the last thing that you want to be promoting.